think the staff, like myself and like most of the people, are excited that we're finally seeing things moving. There was the emotion of when this occurred, and then the emotion of having to consolidate down into the other building. And then we've just kind of been sitting, not knowing hardly anything for the last couple of months. And so finally having the opportunity to see that things are moving forward, and we consider this the first step in us being able to move forward so that we can make this building safe again and get back in here. I think everybody's excited about that. The movement continues at about 0.5 millimeter a day. And according to the Department of Natural Resources, that's going to continue for the unseeable future. They gave us an estimate of maybe up to 6 or 7 more years that would continue. And so if we continue to try to use the building as is, we would be putting Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid on in order to make the building usable again. It's my understanding from them that by coming in and grouting, they will then stabilize the soil, stop the movement, so that whatever remediation we do have to do to the building will be on safe ground. About 40% of the building is going to have to be completely replaced. Everything from this wall east, which is our cafeteria, gymnasium, kitchen, locker rooms, music rooms, those are all masonry supporting walls. The footings and foundations underneath them have failed, which means the walls are now failing. Mechanical engineers that have come in, the structural engineers have said there's no way to repair that. So that's why the state and the regional superintendent came in and condemned that portion of the building. There's no way of fixing that for all intents and purposes. This portion of the building that we're standing in right now, while you can probably tell the floor is significantly sloped and the doors don't shut anymore, they've all been racked. The mechanical and structural engineers have determined that the structural supporting of this section, the middle section of the building, is still good. So that all they'll have to do here, and when I say that relatively speaking, it's going to be a big undertaking, but they'll take the floor out and replace it. They'll take the walls out because obviously the walls sit on top of the floor. Take the walls out and replace them. But then this portion of the building will still be intact. The portion of the building where all the classrooms are, from everything that the structural engineers have determined over there, that part of the building will just need some cosmetic work. We're saving more than half of the building and only having to replace less than half of the building. And you can imagine if this building cost $16.5 million 16 years ago, what the cost would be today. But one of the things that I've learned is this is a very intricate puzzle, and it's very difficult to make estimations until certain things are in place. For instance, the architects that we're working with have been very careful to not paint a picture that might be unrealistic down the road. They continue to this minute, they're still working on it, continue to work on what the costs are going to be, because one of our hopes is that the majority, if not all of this project, will qualify as a health, life, safety project. As far as the State Board of Education is concerned, they need to see actual dollars that are spent. So the architectural firm is working very carefully to make sure that everything that we need is included, but obviously it's an issue that's going to cost quite a few $1 million. Because I know one of the big fears of the community is that we're going to have to skyrocket the tax rate in order to pay for whatever portion of the building falls back on the local taxpayers. We've been working very closely with our financial consultants to try to structure this out so that it's not a massive burden to the taxpayers. Our goal, the board's goal, is to keep that tax rate, even though we have to spend a substantial amount of money, to keep that tax rate as close to what it is right now.